To all of you who don't know me, I'm Sophie. I'm a medical doctor and I have been working in pathology where I diagnosed a lot of chronic illness and cancer. And because I saw so many people getting sick, I was really curious as a doctor how we could prevent a lot of these diseases we're seeing. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm taking science-backed, evidence-based nutrition and mixing it together with my background as a medical doctor to help you get through your life healthy and happy and with a lot of ease. And today we're doing a specific women's summit because women are so underrepresented in medicine that it actually hurts me as a woman myself when I see studies where women get asked, have you ever talked to your GP about how to effectively prevent breast cancer or things that have been overlooked like menopause? And it really is a topic that I think, especially as a female doctor, we have to talk way more about and also push to have more research in this. Luckily, there's a lot of things we can do already now with nutrition, which I'm going to talk about today in the first half an hour. So half an hour, I will focus on how to support our bodies during perimenopause and menopause on a plant-based whole food diet. And the second half of the 1 hour talk, I'm going to talk about skin and how to keep our skin healthy and just what we can do to prevent damages. And watching this from bed, yeah. Hi, Bridget. Yeah, I would too, but I'm actually sitting at my office desk on a chair, and I'm actually really wearing clothes. But you're so welcome to join from bed because it is very early. I just have to work later besides the talk here. So I'm happy that you're here. And I would say let's just dive right in. I have made this little oversight for myself, so I'm just going to open it real quick. So I feel many women, 2 a.m. Are you serious, Bridget? Okay, I'm really honored that you're here. So let's make this worthwhile. Many women, like, let's just define what menopause is. Normally, we experience this as a period of time in our lives, and this could start as early from late 30s in some people, and normally around the 40s, late 40s, 50s. And scientifically, just means the last time we ever get our period, our menstrual bleeding. This is defined as menopause, the last menstruation. And we experience it over the course of months or even years. And it comes with really a lot of challenges for many women, even though it's a natural biological transition. And what many people or many women experience is hot flashes, weight gain, sleep problems, mood changes, bone density loss. And for me, the most important thing that is not talked about enough is that women experience an increased risk of heart disease. And that I don't feel many women are informed about this, that we have to look out for ourselves in a different way, because modern medicine still, a lot of the studies, a lot of experiments, a lot of advice is just designed for and by men. Because, yeah, ridiculously enough, even the cycles of female test animals was considered too complicated to do research on it. Myself, I'm vegan, so I am really critical with the way we're testing things anyway. And I would support to see more relevant research without using animals. That is another topic, but just the mere fact that almost every thing we are prescribed is tested on male animals and male healthy test persons is just a thing that we have to be aware of when we're talking about different advice. And of course, let's stick to the things we know and that can help us. For example, what we eat and how we can live and profoundly influence how we as women experience menopause. And let's take it evidence-based and see which lifestyle choices can help us thrive and not only survive in menopause. So what happens to the body during menopause would be the most interesting thing, so we know how to work with it. Because during menopause, estrogen levels, they decline, and it is really an hormone that not only affects our reproductive system, but it also affects our blood vessels, bone density, even our brain chemistry, metabolism, and also inflammation in our body. And when estrogen drops in menopause, we often see these increased hot flashes, loss of bone mass, also higher cholesterol and more abdominal fat, and with all of that leading to increased cardiovascular risk. And in fact, the heart disease becomes the leading cause of death in women after menopause. And that's why we should be particularly aware how we can work for this not to happen. And these changes, they are presented so inevitable in the medicine we practice today, but they are heavily influenced by diet. So they are actually, or partially, inevitable. First of all, I thought let's talk about hot flashes, because we see, especially when we're looking at Asian diets and people living mostly plant-based, they report far fewer hot flashes than women in Western countries. And I just saw the comment from Alexis, so happy we're vegan, way less issues. I mean, it can be, because veganism and a plant-based whole food diet, I would separate these things, because when you're just living on junk food, you might not have all the benefits that could come with a vegan and whole food centered diet. But of course, what we see that vegans and vegetarians have a lower cancer risk in general, up to 15% less cancer risk, is mostly because we eat more vegetables, fruits, legumes, and integrate that very naturally in our diet. And one part that is super important for also lowering cancer risk, for example, breast and endometrial cancer, I'm going to get back to this later, is the phytoestrogens, which we find in soy products. And these can also help with the hot flashes. And the key sources for these phytoestrogens is soybeans, and different preparations of soy like tofu, tempeh, miso, and also other natural foods like flax seeds, chickpeas, and lentils. And large population studies show that the higher the soy intake, the fewer the hot flashes. And despite many people being afraid of soy and the estrogens, there's no increased risk in breast cancer. It even has a possible protective effect against breast cancer, eating a lot of soy. And because when we hear phytoestrogens, we think about the estrogen, and it is true that they're estrogen and hormone sensitive cancers, but the phytoestrogens, they are not estrogen. It acts more like an estrogen modulator, lowering the effect on specific estrogen receptors and activating another type of estrogen receptor, which helps us to protect against breast cancer and also helps with the hot flashes and the bone density. So clinical evidence shows in randomized trials that whole soy foods can reduce hot flashes up to 80%, which that is amazing. Like there's not much medicine without side effects that has the same kind of numbers. And of course, the effects improve over time and not overnight. Just because you eat one block of tofu, your hot flashes won't go away. You have to really integrate this into your diet. And don't be afraid, you can eat tofu every day. And you could, for example, use it, blending it into smoothies. When you have the silken one, you can use it for thickening soups. I do that a lot of the time. You can eat scrambled tofu, make stir fries. You can even bake with it. So there's a lot of options out there to integrate more soy products into your diet. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is many women experience weight gain and a change of metabolism during menopause, or also pre-menopausal women. And it might feel that the metabolism slows down, but studies show that the basal metabolism decreases only slightly, and the real issue might be calorie density. What does it mean? It's like how many calories we have per gram of food. And for example, when we look at highly processed foods like cheese and meat and also sweets, they are packed with a lot of calories into small volumes that won't make us feel satisfied, and we still remain hungry. And here comes also very handy that plant-based whole foods, they have a really low calorie density, like vegetables, leafy greens, cruciferous veggies like broccoli or kale, fruits, beans, whole grains. That allows you to eat larger portions so you won't feel hungry. You feel more satisfied. And also a side effect, which is amazing, that has been noticed in randomized trials, is people who eat plant-based whole food, they are losing weight to a healthy weight without counting calories because of the low density that food has they're eating. And it actually feels like eating more food but fewer calories, and you won't even notice that you're on a diet. And yeah, so I'm a big fan of plant-based whole food nutrition, as you can see. And I think a really important part about women's health and menopause is really talking about bone health, because as a doctor, I have seen a lot of people give advice to integrate dairy and cow's milk into a nutrition plan because of the calcium, when in fact it has been shown that women who drink the most milk and countries who drink the most milk have the highest rates of hip fractures later on in life, which would be Finland, Sweden, the US, and also that you increase your risk of metabolic disease, overweight, diabetes, and heart disease, the more glasses of milk you drink per day. There has also been a slight evidence for women who drink more milk, cow's milk, have a higher risk for developing breast cancer. And I think that is not talked about enough, and that's also why I would not recommend integrating cow's milk into your diet. And it's really important still to talk about this calcium and the bone health, because it is so much more that influences our bone health than just calcium. We have to talk about vitamin D, magnesium, protein, a low acid load, and also weight-bearing exercise, because what we can do for our bones is also training. And we're going to talk about this later in the summit, and we're going to have amazing talks about how to train, because having weightlifting exercises puts stress on your bones and thereby they get stronger. When we challenge them, we actually support them. And I think this is something we should keep in mind. Nutrition is a big part of it, of a healthy lifestyle, and we should also focus on moving our bodies and doing general movements and also weight-bearing exercises. When we're looking at the nutrition part, which kind of plant sources are recommended for strong bones? So that's first and foremost leafy greens like kale, bok choy, spinach, rucola, or arugula, broccoli. They have a lot of minerals, they have a lot of calcium, and it's recommended to eat at least one portion of these foods per day. Continuing with beans and lentils, any type of legume, feel free to eat any type of legume. Recommended is 3 portions per day. What also has a lot of calcium is sesame seeds and the sesame seed butter, which is also called tahine. You can, for example, prepare some legume spreads with it. And we also could look at fortified plant milks. There's a lot of plant milks on the market that has a calcium, B12, and vitamin D fortification. So that is super good. Then you don't even realize that you're taking that in. And the last thing I would say is very important is that you look at vitamin D supplementation, because vitamin D is also essential in the way we're talking about bone health. And looking at studies, we can see reduced bone loss, lower inflammation, and improved calcium balance on people in whole food plant-based diets. So, and if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat, because I will just answer them right away, or we can also take it later. So that's, you decide. And otherwise I will continue with like one of the topics I think is most important, because all the other things are very important, but heart health after or during menopause, I feel many women are not aware that there's a higher risk and that we should tune in into our bodies. For example, like many people think when you're experiencing a heart attack that you would feel pain in your chest and in your left arm, which is right for men most of the time. Women, when they have heart attack symptoms, sometimes it's more that we feel back pain and nausea. And that is some of the symptoms I feel that are not so aware in public, that when you feel nauseous and weak and that you have these types of experiences, that this is a signal you should look out for and consult a doctor. And can you please clarify how to use when you're in perimenopause and menopause? Could you specify which type of use? Can you please tell how to use? Which kind of use?
No, sorry, I don't know why I typed use. Can you like, how do you know? Like, what are some signs that you're in perimenopause and menopause?
Yeah, like I think how can you tell? So like the most obvious thing is that you don't get your period anymore and you're around the age of 40 or 50. So then, or it of course it starts more with having irregular bleedings. That would be like longer than the 28-day circle. That sometimes it's like 40 days and sometimes 50, then it's shorter again. So this shows that the regularity of the estrogen and the hormones is not given anymore. So perimenopause, when you just look at the bleeding, but of course it also can be hot flashes that are starting. You could feel a bit more tired and lower in energy. Some people also experience mental challenges and feel more depressed for periods of time and lethargic. And yeah, the menopause is when you don't have your period anymore. Like, it's very clinical, but there's so many more symptoms and experiences. And I feel I'm happy that I see like more women talk about their experience with perimenopause and menopause, because it is very much a male narrative of how women are when they are in perimenopause and menopause, because I think it is an episode in our lives that can be very challenging, but it can also bring a lot of experience. And if we start looking at it from the inside, how we're experiencing it, it can be such a powerful change on how we look at getting into this era of our lives. So Yeah, I could catch myself like narrating all the symptoms and like explanations that are mostly man-made. And yeah, it is. I do remember there was one famous actress who wrote a book about her, the way she's experiencing menopause, and it was very empowering. I cannot recall who it was, but it looked very interesting. So, yeah, I hope this answers your question in a way, like irregular periods, stopping of periods, and yeah, what are the benefits of these stages aside from not having a cycle? It is so negative, and it is. And what are your tips to help make it easier? So I think we have to reclaim this period of our lives because I think mostly women get reduced on being fertile, and then that's it. And then we're kind of getting, yeah, put on hold. Where oh, so many comments. That is nice. And I think by getting to know how we can support our bodies better, we will also have the chance to experience a period that is not colored by being lethargic, being tired, being just like weak. And with the plant-based nutrition and the exercise, I think it will look way different than what we have been fed by media. It's the same with aging. I'm ready, like getting my cycle every 2.5 weeks. My uterus can shut up now. Yeah, you're working overtime, I can see. But what I think is going to change when you choose a plant-based whole food diet, it is the same thing actually with aging and aging in women. The way we look at aging today is very dominated by people sitting in retirement homes. People are not being able to move, people that are overweight, people that have a lot of health struggles. But this does not have to be how aging looks like. When we're on a plant-based whole food diet, the longevity we're getting from it, our aging will look different because we're having a different baseline when we're focusing on healthy food, when we're focusing on movement, when we're focusing on feeding our body the nutrients it needs to stay working. Because you see all these illnesses, heart attacks, strokes, dementia, we can directly address them by going on a whole food plant-based diet, and we are not as prone to developing these types of illnesses. And I also think it will change the way we're looking at menopause when we're like putting in the information we have about nutrition and how to keep our bodies moving and running and healthy. Menopause will look different because I think a lot of women, they are talking about hot flashes, they're talking about mood swings, they're talking about weight gain. This is not things you're likely to see when you're following a whole food plant-based diet, because it softens the blow in a way. Like when I look at the data and see 80% reduced hot flashes for increasing your soy intake, you might not experience it the same way. And I'm just gonna go for the comments. I'm gonna get back to the top tips because I still have three more things. I will just continue with the heart health because let's go on the tips to make it easier and healthier in menopause. And what happens to sex drive and libido during these stages? That is a question I haven't prepared, but that sounds like we could talk about in our weekly meetings or sessions in the community, Weekend Squad community. I host on Wednesdays. I host 1 hour half an hour Q&A sessions, and you can come with all of your questions. I have some time to prepare and read the the literature, so I can come with some qualified answers, and then we can talk about so many more things. When I continue with the heart health, I think that it's really important because the risk of heart disease rises sharply after menopause. And that's because the loss of the estrogen protection. Estrogen is not only like an enemy, but like we hear it so much with the breast cancer development and estrogen, but actually it helps our vessels. Women are less prone to heart disease when they're younger, but as soon as this protection of estrogen goes away during perimenopause and menopause, we have to be more careful. And we also see that with increased LDL cholesterol and increased inflammation. And I also want to address that diet is the #1 modifiable factor in all of this. So I just wanted to like put some foods out here that act like medicine. And it's so simple. For example, eating oats. It can lower your LDL cholesterol in a couple of weeks. And when you, for example, start your day with oats, put a bit of plant drink, soy milk, for example, put some walnuts, which is also protective for our cardiovascular system, put some linseeds, which is both cancer fighting and lowering our blood pressure, then you already have a really great and easy breakfast. It doesn't cost much and it protects us in several different ways. On top of that, like you could also put some berries in that breakfast, reducing the oxidative stress because they have so many antioxidants, balancing out the free radicals in our body. And also, I would always recommend, as I said before, eating a lot of beans. The fiber and the protein is really supportive for reducing heart disease risk. And yeah, because heart disease is largely a foodborne illness. It's the way it is. When you put people on a plant-based whole food diet, 91% report less heart pain or chest pain, and they have less events. In the course of just a few weeks on that diet, you can even see the atherosclerosis when you have the thickening of the arterial walls that are leading up to heart attacks. They reverse. It is not magic, it is just observed, and we can do so many things. And when I continue about what are the changes in perimenopause and menopause, coming to an end real quick because the next half hour is I wanted to talk about skin and our skin health. Because I think it's really a lot of women experience changes in mood and sleep, and that also goes down to brain health because menopause does affect the brain. And when we look at what happens, it's people or women experience more depression, a worse sleep, and also an increase in anxiety. And it's really interesting when we're adjusting our nutrition and looking at plant-based diets, they are associated with exactly the opposite: lower depression rates, better sleep quality, and reduced anxiety. And the key nutrients in this is omega-3s. I would always supplement it 250 milligram from algae oil, and you can additionally add flaxseed, chia, and walnuts to your diet. The tryptophan is an amino acid, and it's the crucial part that we need to build serotonin. And we find it, for example, in legumes and also cacao, chocolate. So it's not an excuse to eat a lot of chocolate, but when you're eating legumes, you get a lot of this amino acid tryptophan that is necessary to build serotonin, which is one of the hormones we have in our brains related to depression and anxiety. And when it's lacking, we're more prone to experiencing symptoms of depression and or anxiety. And also what helps our brain stay healthy is antioxidants. And the easiest thing to remember how to get a lot of them is to eat the rainbow. When you see something that has color, and I don't mean Skittles, I mean red onions, red potatoes, blueberries, raspberries, kale, also the green veggies. These colorful fruits, they are a health boost for all of your cells and also your brain cells. And what also helps reducing the symptoms or the negative symptoms of menopause is trying to cut out alcohol, caffeine late in the day, and highly processed foods, because this will boost the inflammation in your body and worsen symptoms and can dramatically despair. Is it a word? It can negatively influence your sleep and your mood. And I just wanted to round it off. So you don't need to be afraid of menopause, and it doesn't work with restriction, and it doesn't work better with perfection. But the simple steps I would let you know is adding beans daily, include ground flax seeds, which helps for a lot of things. Breast cancer risk, reducing the risk for getting breast cancer, the flashes, hot flashes, and the high blood pressure. Swap animal products for plant foods way more often, or just cut out animal products entirely. Fill at least half your plates with vegetables, and you choose. There are some that are more antioxidant rich than others, but it's a good start. Fill half of your plate with vegetables and try to move your body every day. And so I think menopause can really be a time of renewal and clarity and strength. And yeah, I hope you learned some things today that will help you if you're in perimenopause or menopause right now or for the future. And yeah, thank you for being here, especially to Bridget at 2 a.m. in the morning. It's legendary. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Bridget, Sophie has half an hour left, by the way. She's not finishing. So if you did want to stay awake for a bit longer, then feel free to.
Yeah, you can always look at the recording. So you're gonna get the recording sent from all of the talks. And yeah.
Yes, sorry. On that note, everyone, the recordings are only available for you if you purchase the VIP access. So VIP access is $49, just a once-off. Then you get access to all the recordings, and each speaker also is giving a special gift as well. And that's going to be like a guide, a meditation, a hypnosis, depending upon what the speaker is, what the masterclass is about. So it's kind of like an all access pass to all the talks, so you don't have to stay up or get up early, etc. And you also do receive the special bonus as well. So I will drop the link into the chat, Bridget, if you wanted to get that. And Sophie, you can keep going.
Perfect. So now we covered a lot about perimenopause and menopause and how to stay healthy and thriving through all of the periods in our lives as women. And now we also, like a lot of the people I talk to, they're like, what can we do for our skin? Does plant-based whole food nutrition also help for our skin? And yeah, let's just dive into that topic. Because I feel we are bombarded with anti-aging products, anti-aging medication, anti-aging treatments, especially as women. Yeah, let's talk about it, what we can do, and how it can, like, also some of the things negatively influence our health without realizing it, and what we can do to help our skin health overall. And yeah, just a bit to the skin. It is our fastest growing and largest organ of the body. And when I think about skin, I don't necessarily combine it with fast growing, but we're shedding skin cells all of the time. And we're doing this in a cycle about 30 days, and we have an entirely new mantle. So that is really fascinating because it seems so static, but it isn't. 10% of our body weight is actually our skin. I also thought that was a very interesting number, because I don't know how you feel about this, but I didn't count my skin into being part of my body weight in that sense. But yeah, 10% is actually a lot. And just some facts about it. It is built from three things: collagen, hyaluronic acid, and elastin. And collagen is the biggest part with 75%, and 2% is the elastin, and the hyaluronic acid is the rest. You can calculate it if you want to. And what happens when we're aging is that the collagen synthesis goes down, elastin synthesis goes down, and the thickness of our skin gets reduced around 1% per year. And we also have a slower turnover rate. The renewal from the 28 to 30 days when we're younger can go up to 60, 70 days when we're aging. And this is all a part of the aging process we see in our skin. And how can we address this? And is there something we can do about it? Actually, so much, because the genetic factors about this skin aging, it is calculated to 3%. So the rest is from lifestyle. And the main factor is not nutrition, it is sun exposure. And sun exposure makes up to 90% of skin aging, which is so much. And I have seen the medical community has seen melanoma and skin cancer rates go so much up in the last decades, because it has become a trend of sunbathing, going to tanning beds. And this is actually something I would never, ever recommend to any of my patients in terms of skin health, but also in terms of aging of the skin, because we really, like, the thing we have to do with skin is protect. And it is really hats, clothes, sunscreen, sunglasses, avoiding the sun during peak hours between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And I know it's a bummer, but sunbathing, it's comparable to smoking in terms of aging for the skin. And also sun rays are in the same group like tobacco, asbestos, and processed meat. When we're talking about carcinogens, it's a group 1 carcinogen, so directly linked to developing a type of cancer. For the sun rays, it's the skin cancer. For the processed meats, it's the colon cancer. For asbestos, it's lung cancer or mesothelioma, which is the lining of the lung, the pleura cancer. And for the smoking, it's also directly linked to the lung and to the lung cancer. And yeah, skin aging, sun exposure, and also smoking. There has actually been an interesting study, because the way your skin wrinkles when you're a smoker has a specific pattern. It's even called like a smoker's face, because you get distinct wrinkles around your mouth. And when you talk to young people about this development and how they will look like, without showing them pictures of themselves morphed into this type of like aging pattern, only 1 of 80 teenagers or young people stops. And when you show them the way they will look when they continue smoking, 11 out of 80 teenagers and young people stopped smoking. So it is really important to be exposed to these types of changes when you want to see a difference. And sometimes that can help when you yourself are a smoker. Try to look up these softwares and try to make a photo of yourself with how your face would look like when you continue smoking. For some people, it can actually help to see how their effects on the body will be, to realize that you want to take care of yourself now and also of your future self. And yeah, I'm happy to share this information because we're, as humans, we're so visual. Like, we cannot imagine what it's going to be like, but when we get a picture of ourselves getting older and seeing the effects on from our choices, it can start some processes in ourselves. And we can do even more, like sun exposure down, smoking down, and then we can also do things to support and help our skin. For example, I didn't know that, but then I found a study that was looking at using lotion and how it affects the inflammation in your body. And by using lotion, you lower your interleukin-6, which is an inflammation mediator in your body. And by just using lotion, you can lower the inflammation in your body because your skin gets calmed and the nutrition. And it's also linked to better health state in elderly, for example, in retirement homes. When you apply lotion to the bodies, it's maybe the caring effect, but also the soothing of lotions that gives them a better inflammation status, lower inflammation status. And I just think it's really interesting, like how much like small tasks or small interventions like using cream can do to your body. And I just wanted to share because sometimes I feel like this entire nutrition and lifestyle bubble can be very overwhelming, and there can be a lot of things you think you need to change, but also small actions improve your health. You don't have to like change your life upside down. Try to do the small things. For the skin, the lotion. For your health, try to eat a bit more broccoli. Try to skip on the meat and dairy and find legumes and soy yogurt, for example. It's like these small changes that will do so much, and it's adding up. And when we're talking about skin aging, it's also the air that makes us age. It's a thing in the air that is called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. And this happens when diesel exhaust particles are in the air. But there's also the thing that happens when we're grilling meat. So these PHAs, they come into this world when we burn things. Like diesel, like meat, and also smoking. Interesting enough, for smokers, 50% of the PHAs found in their bloodstream, they are from smoking, and 50% from food. For non-smokers, it's 99% PHAs from their diet. And this is where we can work, because we can reduce these PHAs that will they are like prone to changing our DNA, creating mutations, leading to malfunctioning cells, and even to cancer to some degree. And when we're looking at our diet, where do these PHAs come from? Meat. And apparently pork has more PHAs than beef, but vegans are not safe to this, because even in dark leafy greens, they get contaminated because of the air pollution, because the world we're living in. So if I could give you one advice, I would always recommend to rinse your veggies and your produce and the fruits under running water before you eat it. And it has also been shown that the most pesticides and also PHAs, it's two different things, but the toxins we don't want to get into our body, they are removed best with lukewarm to warm water. So you can also see it different if you're using running cold water and running lukewarm water. So I recommend always rinse the food you're eating. The same counts for legumes. Just wash it. You will get away a lot of the contamination that is harmful for your body. And when we're talking about rinsing our leafy greens, that daily spinach salad has been associated with a higher collagen production. And that is really nice because, as I told you in the beginning, it's the collagen synthesis is the rate is reduced 1% per year. And the idea is to boost that. And you can do that by eating leafy greens, could be arugula, could be kale. But there hasn't been a specific study where people ate daily spinach salads and their collagen production went up. Same as for apples, rosemary, and grapefruit and kale. Another thing I wanted to address is that when we're talking about creams, skincare, like a lot of people use niacinamide, which is vitamin B3. It's the same thing. Then retinoids and vitamin C. And for the retinoids, I know a lot of people recommended, a lot of dermatologists recommended. I just wanted to let you know that there have been studies where using retinoids long-term on a regular basis has been linked to premature death. And that is really important because I think a lot of people just use it and are not aware of the fact that it has been linked to premature death. So I don't know if, like, sometimes I really think if I just want to be wrinkly and see the life that I'm living on my face, or if I want to have very youthful skin and just dying a bit earlier. So this is some things we have to bear in mind. And I also want to let you know there are products that you can use safely. For example, vitamin C. And I also have an interesting take on this one because vitamin C is very unstable. And when you put it in creams, there's mostly derivatives that are not as active. And what I do, I just buy bulk L-ascorbic acid in the pharmacy, or we can buy it in the grocery store. I mix a 10% mix 3 grams of the L-ascorbic acid, 30 grams of water. I put it in a little, I did droplet things, and then I used 4 to 5 of the pumps on my face and neck and upper chest. That is super cheap, and you can mix it up very easily and fresh. It won't oxidize as vitamin C would in other skincare products. And also there has been no real evidence for these derivatives to be effective. So yeah, maybe you want to look into that. I think it's really a relaxed way of using antioxidants in your skincare. And of course you have to see if you react because it's an acid. And I always recommend to use sun protection anyway. So maybe you want to give it a shot. That actually, yeah. Can you please include this in your, yes, I will. Of course, that is so good. Yeah, because I was thinking the VIP access, I will give an oversight on the tips for how to get thriving through menopause, and oversight on the tips how to care for your skin, including a nutritional aspect. And yeah, that is what you will get. And we talked about retinoids, we talked about vitamin C, and we talked, and now I want to talk about a study that I think is very interesting, because oral nicotinamide, the vitamin B3, there has been a study where people ate 500 milligrams of nicotinamide to look at skin cancer prevention versus placebo. And they were looking at actinic keratosis, which is a type of cancer that is directly linked to sun and UV exposure. And you could see in the placebo group, 463 people developed skin cancer. And in the supplement nicotinamide group, just 336 skin cancers. And when you look at it in relative numbers, it's 25% fewer cancers in the group that had the nicotinamide supplements from oral nicotinamide. And I'm not a big fan of the using vitamins without the rest that comes with it. I would always go for the whole food instead of the supplement, and not for extractions. And there are like legumes, the leafy greens, a lot of veggies, and really especially the legumes, they have a lot of vitamin B3. So if you want to focus on something, try to get your B vitamins in, and you can also supplement it, because I think this study shows really that there is a difference having a high antioxidant load in your blood and in your skin compared to not having this vitamins and antioxidant load. I mean, 25% fewer skin cancers, it is a lot. Like when you combine everything, the sun protection and with preventary measurements, when you combine it with the sunscreen, when you quit smoking, which also helps, when you reduce the PHAs in your diet by cutting out meat, and when you then also wash your veggies, add the leafy greens, you're like on a fantastic way of being really nice to your skin. And let me see, because I had another point I wanted to make. There was one thing we could see in studies, that vegans have lower collagen production in their bodies, and that was directly linked to not having enough B12, because B12 is part of so many pathways. It's part of building healthy blood cells, red blood cells, is part of the collagen synthesis. And we could see that vegans who weren't aware of supplementing B12 had lower collagen synthesis, had lower elastin synthesis in their bodies, which also led to a worse healing of wounds after surgery, worse like healing of pressure wounds, for example, in elderly. And this is something I really want to bring across. When you're on a plant-based whole food diet, the easiest way to get your B12 in the right amount is supplementing it. And looking back on the menopause talk, women and people who are above the age of 50, they do need more B12 than younger individuals. So you have to adjust it. And the numbers, I will write it also in the document for the guide, because I really want to be very sure. But the fact that when you're on a plant-based whole food diet and you're not taking B12 is actually harmful for your health in so many different ways. And the easiest way to get the B12 is through supplements. Don't be afraid of the supplements. It is essential for your health. And yeah, for skin health, the evidence supports the recommendation to follow a whole food plant-based diet. Fun fact, by eating a lot of greens, you can actually get an internal SPF of 4. Which is not enough. We need like to aim for something, depending on where you live, between 15 and 50. And I just got this question. Any specifics on how to reverse or reduce crepe skin? I will look that word up, because yeah. I would say reversing is reversing or reducing the type of skin. I just looked it up, the word, and it tells me that is linked to UV damage. And I would also recommend trying to eat as many nutrients as possible, because the antioxidant level in our skin changes actually every hour, and we can see it crash, for example, when we're taking 3 shots of vodka like the antioxidant level in our skin just plummets. And it is very variable. So we see in people that eat a lot of greens, that eat a lot of kale and spinach, the leafy greens, cruciferous veggies, and the recommended 3 portions of fruit per day, plus the 1 portion of berries that is recommended, that they are having a more vital skin tone, and also the hue of the skin. There has been studies that it has been linked to a more healthy and attractive appearance, the more antioxidants we had in our skin and in our bloodstream. And I really would try to eat as colorful and green as possible, plus trying the vitamin C and skin protection to prevent further damage from UV radiation. Hope this helps. Thank you. Well, yeah, 2 different topics, 1 same baseline. Try to eat as colorful and plant-based as possible to get the chance of getting better health outcomes in so many different ways. What's my take on peptides? Also a good one. I have read that they can be beneficial for the skin. Yeah. So like the one thing that I would be cautious about is the retinoids, and really look into that. And of course, like I always give recommendations and how it is in evidence-based and backed up science. What you do is up to you. And I think it's just important to have heard about some things, to be aware of it, and then decide how much risk you want to take. That's just how life works, and it's not a promise for all and everything, but it's a way we can try. Yeah. So I hope you're gonna have a really great summit. I think there's gonna be a bit of a sleep break now, and it's just due to because I'm based in Europe that my time is so totally off compared to the other lovely hosts. I'm happy that all of you were watching. Just contact me through the vegan squad community. Yeah. And
we'll include everybody's socials, so you
perfect. And you can also contact me on my socials, which is doc full stop Sophie Engelhardt, which is my name. Perfect. Thank you so much.
So a couple of things in Sophie's in Sophie's bonus guide that she's going to give as part of the VIP package, she's going to include her top tips for skincare, anti-aging, perimenopause, menopause, including what to eat, nutritional tips, recommended supplements, and a couple of recipes. I'm gonna please throw that in there. I love trying Sophie's recipes, and they're always really delicious, which is super nice. Now I'm just going to quickly read out I'm going to quickly read out all the upcoming calls that are coming. So there's 5 more masterclasses. They're all highly specialized and they're all catered towards women. So the next one, which is going to be more suitable for EST and PST time, where the majority of our audience is going to be Melissa's. Sophie, if you can attend this, definitely do, because this is going to be a really beautiful one. It's at 6:30 your time. Self-abandonment and self-worth masterclass. It's a nervous system-based self-love masterclass and hypnosis. So it's helping you feel safe, regulating your nervous system and setting boundaries, which is so incredibly important. When your nervous system is regulated, your results are 10x. Whether it be you're trying to lose weight, you're just trying to balance your hormones, you're trying to build more muscle, and obviously there's a mental health aspect where you just feel so much better as well. And Melissa is honestly a secret weapon when it comes to that. She just has the most amazing energy as a person, let alone in her classes. I think her last class I actually fell asleep. It was a meditation. I woke up and I was like,
that is a good sign. That is a good sign.
I know. And then I had to do my class afterwards. So it was a good reset, which is amazing. And then we have Okay, why gut health and inflammation, control fat loss, hormones, and how you age, masterclass. So that's going to be an incredible one. Followed by the keys to longevity, so getting stronger, healthier, and better looking as you age. So this is all about reversing aging with strength training, supporting hormone balance and sustainable lifestyle habits. So it's not just a pop a pill here. It's how can you support your lifestyle through habits that you do on an ongoing basis. Then this is like, these are really cool. Then the other ones are more body transformation based. So building an hourglass figure, getting stronger and boosting your metabolism. And then the very last one, which is mine, which is Secrets to Building Booty Building, Growing Your Glutes Masterclass. And that's going to be all about the top tips and mistakes to avoid. So it's going to be a jam-packed masterclass. We're all touching base on hormones. So whether it be menstrual cycle syncing, perimenopause, or menopause, because we want to support women during every single stage of your life. And the focus is on anti-aging, building strength, obviously fat loss, but really just helping you look and feel really good and confident and really powerful and sexy in your skin, especially as you age. So that's the tone of this summit. We have two special offers. So obviously the first one is if you want access to all of these recordings for life, as well as the special guides. Like, I know, like, I'm personally so excited for Sophie's one. Like, I will be reading that. I will be implementing. I've learned so much from Sophie. And Sophie also does weekly live Q&A calls in our Vegan Squad community. So we'll also include a link if you want to join that as well, for everyone who isn't part of the community already. I know, Bridget, that you're already in there, which is amazing. And I know that you already attend live calls. So if you want to drop in some comments about that, that would be amazing. So there's that. We've got our VIP access. So that's $49, which comes with all the recordings, the bonus guides that we're all giving, as well as, which is super exciting. Bridget, you're already part of this, so no worries. But for everyone else that's listening, we are giving away, first come, first serve, and obviously to qualified people, 5 coaching spots, so 5 one-on-one coaching spots by our Vegan Coaching Squad experts in each call. So it's first come, first serve. There is an application process. I'm going to drop in, well, Bridget, you've already got it, so I won't drop in the link in the chat, but if you're watching the replay, you will see it come through in the replay. And that's to apply to get a free month of one-on-one coaching. You can focus on whatever it is you like: fat loss, anti-aging, building muscle, or just finding out exactly what to do in the gym or working out at home. And we're basing it on our 4 pillars in the Vegan Squad community, or Vegan Squad coaching. So that's nutrition, so your customized meal plan, your customized workout plan to suit your needs and built around your lifestyle goals, as well as accountability, because that's so incredibly important. We're going to help you maintain consistency, so you're not just relying on motivation, so stick to the plan, not the mood. And obviously communication. So all of our coaches are available for you via one-on-one access, so via one-on-one chat. And we just want to make sure, like, our goal is we want to help you transform your bodies. We want to make the world a more vegan place. And we're just really passionate about helping you achieve your goals, because we know that if you look good and you feel good, honestly, you're the best ambassador for the rest of the world to go vegan. And that's from every single background. So whether it be Sophie's medical background, whether it be a mindset background, whether it be a health and fitness coaching background, which most of us are, then like that's what we want to do for you and for the rest of the world. So Bridget says she's mostly at work. That's all good. Honestly, a lot of people, because Sophie lives in Europe, her calls are always in Europe time. So what a lot of people do is, most of our community is in the States, is they just dial in whilst they're at work and they put themselves on mute and they just continue working. And then once in a while they'll pop in and they'll just answer questions.
Yeah, that works very well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you do have any questions or any feedback, though, what you can do is you can drop it into the community. And if you're watching a replay, you're like, what is she talking about? We'll put details into this into the emails, into our Vegan Squad community, which is an online community. And then that way Sophie can ensure that she addresses that during the live calls.
Exactly. And when you have any topics or questions, you drop it in the community, and then we also make polls what you're interested in. So we focus on the things that are important to you.
Absolutely. All righty. Bridget, do you have any questions?
Good night. Sleep is also very important for skin.
Yeah, exactly.
No
We're
questions.
so honored.
It was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you so much. They're like, we're honestly like, we're so blessed and honored that you came, especially with the time zone difference as well.
Thank you
I
so
really
much.
wanted to see this one. I was debating on buying it, so I wanted to catch it. But I think with all the supplemental things, I'm gonna go for it anyways. But no, this was really good. So
perfect. Thank you so much.
Yay!
I'm happy to help.
I'll drop in the
right.
link for you again, and so you can save that.
I got it open in another window.
You got
We're
it? Okay. Perfect. Amazing. And Sophie's going to chuck in all of her extras. Sophie, if you need a hand with editing it or anything, let me know because we can stick the logo and so on.
Oh, perfect. I'll send you the material.
Okay, perfect. Beautiful. Alrighty. Well, we can't wait to see you in the next upcoming calls. Sophie, I will be attending your live calls again when I'm back in Europe.
Perfect. I love that. And see you in a bit.
Yes.
All right, good night.